Well, over time, we've seen many different ways and many different styles of stance or the setup. One thing you'll notice a lot on the tour is most of them look pretty close to the same, but there are some pretty individual characteristics. Ultimately, you just want it to be comfortable. Coach Ross, though, will show us a few different ways to get your stance and setup as comfortable as possible and as consistent as possible to help you throw your best shots.
A lot of the inconsistencies that we see here at the ITRC with bowlers relates right back to the stance. We want to try to have balance at the finish, but if you don't start in a balanced position in the stance, it's hard to create balance at the finish. With some small adjustments, we can give Terry a better starting position. We want you to start in a balanced position as opposed to unbalanced position in the stance. As you can see, I can push you very easily and push you back. The issue that we have with there is all your energy and all your weights go on reverse instead of forward up the lane towards where the pins. So what we want you to do is get into your stance, flex your knees and get the weight onto the balls of your feet forward. So now you're in a very stable position. Now it's going to be able to enable you to have more balance at the finish position because all our balance energy is going up the lane instead of the other direction. Now that we got your balance better established on the balls of your feet, we want to look at your alignment going up to the lane. What you have is very square. You're square of your shoulders, your hips, and your feet. So what I want you to do is I want to take your bowling side, which is for you is your right side, and take your right foot slightly back, take your right hip slightly back, and your right shoulder slightly back. Now, we want to keep the ball in the same position. We want to keep the ball between your shins and shoulder, still going up the lane. This is going to give you more of a better athletic position to release the ball and keep it on line going down the lane. Now we got your weight on the balls of your feet in a more balanced position and we got you open the stance, we want to take care of this ball placement. We talked about we want it between your chin and shoulder, not outside the shoulder, not aligned shoulder, between your chin and shoulder. But we want to get in a little balanced position so you can relax your hand more. As you can see, I can push and try to resist, and it's very hard to resist. What we would like you to do is pull your elbow slightly back, pull the ball a little bit closer to you, keeping it in the same position between your chin and shoulder. Now I can push quite hard and you're in a better balanced position. Your hand's going to be more relaxed in the ball, stronger release at the finish position, and you're in a better balance. Okay, the next thing we want to address, Terry, is that now that you got to get very good stance, we want to get into a very good start, initiating the whole approach. So what we want to do is now that you got the ball in closer in a better balanced position, we want to keep the weight of the ball on the center of your hand here. We don't want to let that ball get in front of your hand. We don't want it coming back. We want it nice and centered here. Next thing we want to do is as we start to initiate the swing, we want to have a nice rounded shape to this push weight. We want it rounded. We don't want to have sharp edges. Swing doesn't have sharp edges. You want to have a nice rounded swing. So we're going to keep the shoulder back as the ball goes forward and it's going to have a nice rounded swing. We're going to synchronize this with the very first step of your ball side foot. So if you're a 5-stepper, you'll take a step and then the right side or the ball side foot and the ball will go forward at the same time. If you're a 4-step, we initiate just with the right side. The right step and the right-handed on the ball will go forward and synchronize at the same time. So that weight will hit your hand the same time that ball side foot hits the floor. Now that we got a good stance and the weight in the ball, you want to make sure that when you go out here forward, when we start this push weight, that you keep your hand underneath the ball at the start. That keeps your hand nice and relaxed. If you get out here and you let the ball get in front of your hand, now you're going to have to grab that ball and have to grip it and then pull it back. It's going to cause you an inconsistent swing and grip pressure throughout the release. So we want to keep it nice and balanced and rounded right here with your hand underneath the ball.